Good morning, everybody. Carl Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. And look at this from Matty in the Netherlands. Bon dia. Is there actually a place called the Netherlanders, or is that just me making a fool of myself there? Bon dia de alegria. I'm not afraid of that. E uma terça-feira produtiva. Oh, produtiva this morning. Para todos de Amsterdam. So from Matty in Amsterdam, asking as well about the two-wheeled adventure. I will have some too, but I won't pedal. And I take one of my dogs with me. Oh, yeah, the dog on the back of the motorbike there. Matty, tell us more about that. Andrea is here as well. Bon dia, good morning. Tom, same household or same camper van hold. Happy Tuesday morning. All bon dia. Cycling in Portugal sounds like an interesting topic for today. It absolutely is. It's Consumer Tuesday today, where we look at all sorts of lifestyle issues, utilities and business and stuff like that. But today we thought we would introduce you via an expat, a notable expat, Sara Yurman, to the joys of cycling in Portugal. Victoria's up for it. Bon dia, todos. Ooh, can't wait for the show to start. My bike is packed up and ready for some Portuguese adventures. Fantastic. Sarah will tell us all about those. She cycled across America, you know. What's this? Bon dia, todos. And then late again. Relax, man. You're in Portugal. Calma, tranquilo. What's a few minutes between us friends here this morning? Good morning, everyone from Finland, from Elra, and good morning from South Africa. Good morning, everyone from Francis there. And Lude is here. I don't think we've had Lude, also from South Africa, with a bon dia there. And who's this as well? Oh, Amit is here. Hello, Amit Mazumda. Hola, bon dia from downtown Porto. Hello to you. How are you? Great to see you. That's fantastic, Amit, to see you live on the show with us. Mike and Maggie from, where are you from? Maastricht, of course. Bon dia, alegria, happy days. I'm a bit tired. You may have noticed this morning. Very late night, coming back from the wonderful place I've just fallen in love with. This has got to stop. Fell in love with Castelo David on Saturday. Fell in love with a new place yesterday. I'll tell you more about it towards the end of the show. We'll come back to those comments because we've got to get Sarah on. But before we do, sunrises, everybody. Where have the sunrises come from this morning? Let's take a look, shall we? And I've got a video to share with you. This is my sunrise this morning, if you'll permit me. Not a long one, but this is what I went out to. Got up at about 5:30 this morning to do the 6 o'clock web conference, a Q&A. And when I went out afterwards with the dogs, I was greeted by this. Look at this. That was my valley this morning. You hear those cockerels there? And let's go up to a few sunrises from around the world from this lovely community. What have we got this morning? We have a sunrise in Fuzeta. Thank you very much for this from Andy and Margarita. And I think that was probably a day or two ago because they're back in Lisbon now. Look, there's a Lisbon sunrise for you. Don't know what time that was taken. No wonder he was banging on the door waiting for the show to start. Probably been up since 6 himself this morning. Over to Australia. Thank you, Alda, for these. Look at these beauties here as well. Sunrise in Australia from our listeners. And Alda can't wait to photograph Portugal. And a very fine job, I'm sure she'll do. And look at this sunrise. Isn't that beautiful? Can't wait for your Portuguese pictures. And we have a sunset from you. So obviously we'll do those towards the end of the show. But now, and one from Fuzeta as well. But now, here on the show, we welcome Sara Yurman. Good morning to you, Sarah, live from the south of Portugal this morning. How are you?
Yes, I am well. And yourself?
I'm pretty good, but a little bit tired after a very, very busy but wonderful day, having a little bit of a tour around in central Portugal and an early start this morning. But so excited to be talking to you. You very kindly said, may I talk about cycling in Portugal on the show? And I'm thinking, yes, of course you must. So thank you for coming here and doing that today.
Well, you're welcome. It is lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
You have an illustrious cycling past. I mentioned just there that we'll have this long view because I think there's going to be some bike video during. I mean, you're not going to be cycling, but you're going to be showing us some of your kit there, aren't you? But you've cycled across the States. You now live in Portugal, and you applied to come here without ever having been to Portugal. Unfortunately, you discover it's a great place to be cycling.
It is. It is. The Portuguese drivers are much better than the ones in America. We were just stunned. When we first arrived, we thought there was no cycling, that the streets are too narrow, it's too hard. It turns out that all kinds of people ride.
Yeah.
And the cars give you room. They move over.
Yes, and you could be forgiven for thinking it's going to be quite scary cycling in Portugal, because the driving style, let's call it adventurous and progressive, shall we? And that's true, and I'm sure you've discovered that to be the case. However, also
Yes.
in the Portuguese psyche, I think it's a great love of cycling, because we had a little chat before the show. The most popular love of cycling for Portuguese people, of course, is in the road racing, isn't it?
Yes, yes, and lots of the things that you see in the bike stores and such are slanted that way. You'll see a lot of people riding around with fancy jerseys, looking like they're racing. Yeah, I've never been a racer. I appreciate it. I stand by the side and jump up and down and scream.
Yeah.
But for us, touring is the thing. We like to ride around and look at things and meet people and hang out. And Portugal is perfect.
Well, I'm
for
so
that
glad.
Sort of thing.
So glad to hear that. Questions to Sarah, please. Let's see who's here with us this morning. The young primates of the group are shouting at each other again. I'm so sorry about that you've had to see this, Sarah, this indignity, but it is what they do. Anna Olsen is here with us this morning. Good morning to you, Anna. Bon dia to you. Where are you at the moment in the world? Have you moved since we last mentioned it? Bon dia to all from New Zealand. Mac Dung 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 07 is here. And Matty, Carl, I reveal my choice of new electric motorcycle on my channel. So there we go, on Matty's YouTube channel. Next will be the way to take my large dog with me on the motorcycle. Stay tuned for that. PST, and actually, what does that mean, I wonder? Explain, please. Will you, Andy? South Africans are taking over. Hee, says Francis. They do seem to be this morning. Are you friends, you South Africans there? You Saffers, or was that a complete coincidence? Susan Lurch is here. Bon dia, have a fabulous day. The Silver Surfer's back. Bon dia from the UK. Hey, Silver Surfer, how are you? Portugal sun test, possibly, is one guess at that. Matty, only a month more, and I'll be heading down to Portugal. We can all meet up there too. Fantastic. So, yeah, the South Africans and the folks from the Netherlands, I think, are vying for that competition. Of the big move to Portugal. Wonderful sunrise and view. Thank you, Matty. Good morning from Scotland from Patricia. Sorry, Sarah, we'll get to the bottom of these comments in just a moment. I'll talk to you about cycling. Bon dia alegria from Mark in Norfolk. And Thunder Ducks here in Lisbon as well. Bon dia alegria. Well said. And then we got the Mark, Duck. They're all screaming out to each other. Valerie Spencerbeck's Accessible, everyone. Valerie's here as well. Good morning. It's another stunningly beautiful day here in San Martinho de Porto. Yes, absolutely. I noticed women don't sports cycle in Portugal. Well, let's come back to the comments in a little while. What do you make of that comment straight in from Louise there? I noticed women don't sports cycle in Portugal. Is that true in your experience as well, Sarah?
Well, there are fewer, but there are fewer women in America as well. So you just have to get on the bike and do it. And then there will be women.
There you go. There you go. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And you're right. I mean, we were talking about the touring. Is it touring? Is it road racing? I'm not sure of the exact description of it, but it tends to be the old mammals, doesn't it? The middle-aged men in lycra who insist on stuffing their bodies into elasticated leisure wear. It defies all sorts of laws of physics. But that's what you predominantly see. But you're going to introduce us to another side of the cycling, including cargo bikes, tandems. Tell us about how you go about it.
Well, let's see. Let's start with the clothing. I do wear bike shorts because they're really, really practical. Mm-hmm. But for the top, particularly for our friend here, I would really suggest they have lightweight biking specific shirts.
Yes.
That just look like shirts. And they have vents up the side, and they're much lighter weight than the jerseys. And they have pockets for your keys. They're just the best ever. And when you walk into a store, you don't look like you're walking in from outer space. You look like a human, that other humans can talk to. And they're really terrific. So start with that. And then get yourself a nice helmet. I mean, I've used a couple. I would probably be a widow if it weren't for my husband wearing a helmet religiously. So get yourself a nice helmet. One of the things that I don't see here very often is are rear view mirrors on the helmets. And that's really terrific. Get yourself a rear view of some description. Put it on your handlebars, put it on your helmet, put it wherever. I like one on my helmet, but they're really terrific. They help you see what's going to happen to you soon, so you can take evasive action if necessary. And it makes you more cooperative in traffic. You know, if you act like an idiot, you'll be treated like one. So don't be an idiot.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and gloves. Get yourself some cycling gloves. The number one reason for going into an emergency room is not having a helmet. The number two is no gloves.
Is that right?
Because, well, when you fall, think about it. You go like this, you know?
Yes,
how can I get my hand up there? Yeah, like that.
Yeah, some of this, yes.
To break your fall. And you can get nasty things in there. You know?
Hey, all right.
So they're really helpful. And then just get on a bike. Any bike will work. You know?
Okay. This is very important then, because a lot of these fellas that we're talking about, it's that syndrome, isn't it, of all the gear but no idea. So a lot of fellas will be investing in all the equipment. What you seem to be espousing is like, okay, get the basics right, the comfortable clothing, get the safety right, but then just get a bike and get on it, and don't get too hung up on all the technology. Okay, good advice. And Portugal, of course, is an incredible
just go.
Yeah, just go. Okay, so tell us about this tour before we come back to Portugal and really get digging into the Portugal cycling scene. Tell us about your tour of America.
There's a magazine in America. There's an association that publishes a magazine called Adventure Cycling, and they cover cycle touring all over the world, usually by Americans, but often other folks. And I was looking in the back of the magazine one night, and there was an advert by another woman. I'm 67 years old, so
what?
The number of women who cycle like this, who are my age, is pretty limited. There was another woman in her 60s who wanted to ride across America, and I went, "Yeah, let's go." And we are completely unlike one another. And I just enjoyed doing it so much. She wanted to do Route 66. I didn't care. I just wanted to go across America. So we did Route 66. We started at the Santa Monica Pier, and then we just rode. There's a route, and there are maps published, and GPX files published for this route that goes across America. And that's what we did.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't believe you're 67 though. I'm struggling with that. I'll take your word for that. Amazing.
Yes, trust me. There was a birthday recently.
You're a great advert for the cycling life. Absolutely. So next then possibly is the N2 in Portugal, which of course is this is our Route 66, isn't it? Here in Portugal.
It is.
Route 66 is what you would say from America. And I've got some from our friends Relish Portugal. Ivan has done a fantastic blog on it here. Yeah, and we'll get to see the map with this. And it starts in Chaves in the north. It's the EN2 or the N2 or Portugal's Route 66. And it goes all the way down to Faro. And you're going to be on lovely roads like that one there. Isn't that amazing? And here's the map. From north to south, from south. Look at it. It's the spine. It really is the spine of Portugal. It's the old trade route, of course, up and down the country before all the toll roads came along. How and when are you going to be doing this?
Well, it'll probably be about a year. We've got to get our living situation sorted. When I rode across America, I thought I was retired. It turned out I had started a company with some friends and my son, and it turned out that they decided I wasn't as retired as I thought. So we're going to wind up a big job over the next year or so, and I've really kind of tried to put my foot down. They do know where I live, but we're going to try and draw some boundaries here. And then I'll get to do the end too.
Fantastic.
But it was the first thing we learned about when we came to Portugal. It was the first thing we learned about. The guy who picked us up from the airport with welcome pickup, a nice man named Nuno. Nuno took us on as a side project because he was a biker too. And he's giving us little tips and told us what to do and helped us with things. And he told us to do the end too. It was the first thing we learned about Portugal when we came here.
Oh, excellent. So for people who didn't know Portugal at all, you decided to come here, and everything's turning out really well for you, isn't it? As lovers of the open road on your bicycle. And you're also tandem riding, because that's a very specialist niche, I think, isn't it? Tell us what tandeming is like, and is it a bit like ice skating with a partner? You have to sort of really work in tune with each other and really know each other and have an intuitive connection, maybe.
Well, you have to be cooperative, because when you pedal, you're going to pedal all at once, right? Yes. I do tandem riding with my husband, and we actually have 3 tandems, 2 of which should be for sale, and one of which is here, and it's wonderful. It's really fun, because you can talk to each other easily. You can say, "Hey, look at that pretty house," and enjoy the ride so much more.
Incredible. Okay, we've got lots.
He makes me ride up front. He doesn't like to do all the stuff, you know.
Okay. No, I get it. So the person on the back can, you wear a rear view mirror, so you can see if your partner there has folded his arms and they're having a little bit of a power snooze. You can see in your rear view mirror. Maybe that's another reason to have the rear view mirror as well. Okay.
It's really great. The guy on the back is called a stoker. The guy on the front is called the captain, and the captain's job is to give the stoker a good ride. That is your job.
Okay.
And so it makes you really conscious of how things are going back there. You don't want to go over too many bumps. You want to make sure that the pace is appropriate for the person you're riding with. You want to make it a good trip. And it's a really wonderful way to ride.
Sounds lovely. Sounds like a really good thing to do together as a partnership as well. So Bon dia from South Africa, another South African here. Kea Lilia is here. Hello. And also Ella is saying about the comment made by Louise before about exercise and women exercising. I have the impression Portuguese in general don't really worry about exercising. Well, they have a very active lifestyle, to be fair, although that is slowly changing. No jersey here, no fancy jersey here with all the logos on. I have an Electra Townie 7-speed in hopes of leisurely exploring and also riding into town for supplies. So there you go. Thumbs up from Sarah for that one. To Elra from Louise, sports clubs are like it was back in the UK, and in the 70s it was very male dominated. That's the cycle racing. Greetings from a cloudy Harrogate, 13 degrees, soon to be autumn colours in September. Soon to be autumn colours in September tomorrow, of course. September tomorrow, everybody. What happened there? Where's the summer gone? Bon dia all. John, hello. This is great. We've been in our new home in Alcobaça for almost a week now and loving it. So glad to hear that. Welcome to Portugal. The Roonies. The house is starting to look like a home. Still lots of unpacking to do. Don't worry, John. Plenty of time. You'll be unpacking probably for a year or two if you're like everyone else here, I suspect. Spandiclists. What are they? These are the mammals, are they? The middle-aged men in lycra. The spandiclists. I don't know if I've said that right. Have I said that right, Sarah?
Oh, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, all right. No, but I wanted the social aspect of a cycle club. Might have to start one, Louise. It's more than just getting on a bike. I can't do everything alone.
We are social beings. Well, I'm looking for a riding buddy, Louise.
There you go, Louise. That's sorted. Yes, there you go. Fantastic. You only had to ask. In Florida, mostly only people who have lost their driving rights ride a bike. Is that true in America? Is it looked down upon?
Well, Florida is a special case. Florida has the highest biker death rate in the United States. It is so bad that The Economist did an article about it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I can understand it. People don't really seem to like sidewalks or pavements too much in America, do they? And I would have thought, in a kind of wealth-based country, riding a bicycle, unless you've got a very flashy one and you go out touring on it and you do it as a sport, riding a bicycle, I suspect people are looked down upon for having a sort of lower form of transport. It's not fair, is it?
Well, I think it's changed a lot. It's changed an awful lot.
I'm glad.
Where we lived in America, there are a goodly number of people who don't bother with cars much at all.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's very doable.
Yeah, and I see myself as part of that community. I always loved cycling in the UK, and I still have my bike here. And I've already outed myself as buying a bike from Spain, which I'm very ashamed about, but it's done now. I don't know if you can answer this question, Sarah. Do cyclists have to be insured in Portugal? And are helmets compulsory? What do you say about those two questions from Paul?
I do not know about insurance. If it is, I haven't done it yet. I understand that helmets are compulsory, that you can get fined if you're not wearing them. But please wear one anyway, Paul, because you look like a nice man who deserves to live.
Yes, and that's it. I mean, whether the government mandates it or not, it's such a good idea. As you said before, you might be a widow yourself if it wasn't for the cycle helmet. So for the tumble that might happen and that could possibly happen, why not just wear one anyway? And yes, we'll ask Nuno about cycle insurance next time we talk to him, which won't be long now. Hello, Carl, and for everyone here from Marcos Valbon. I would not feel safe on the road if I cannot see what's hitting me from behind. Okay, so another endorsement of the rear view mirror. A midlife crisis at World Tour. All this Lycra talk is making me queasy. Sorry about that. You can't talk about cycling without talking about Lycra. Where do you get these shirts that you're talking about? Now, there has been a supply problem, hasn't there? Like you said, the shops tend to focus on the road racing touring stuff. Where can people get this stuff? And where have you been getting your supplies from, Sarah?
The lightweight shirts. Well, I brought mine from America. It's a company called Club Ride. So look online for that. I'm sure you can get them or something like them. There's probably a Portuguese equivalent someplace.
Yeah, there you go. So, and we also need Jerry, Astrid. We probably need an Expats Portugal lightweight biking shirt as part of our merchandise range. There we go. That's what we need, isn't it? Do you bike alone often? Do you go out on your own, Sarah? From Huini?
Every morning. Every morning I go for a ride, and I go. It's not very long. I guess it's about 15 kilometers. I do a loop. Go around the west side of Albor and come back to Praia da Rocha, and it's really nice. And as I go, there are people who are out walking and such every morning also, and so I have friends and neighbors to wave to. It's really nice.
Brilliant. Yeah, superb. So why wouldn't you in that beautiful part of the country, Alvor and Praia da Rocha there, out for a 15K cycle ride, did you say? What a lovely way to start the day.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Mac 007, Sarah's way. Cool. Yes, we agree. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bon dia from Antonio. Hey, Antonio, how are you? I also wear safety equipment on my motorbike. Never ride without gloves. Yeah, I think that message has got through loud and clear. So gloves, helmet, body armor, perhaps, and proper pants. Yes, go out with trousers on, for heaven's sakes. You don't want to be cycling around without trousers on. Get arrested for a different reason. Bon dia from Oregon. Hey, Pammy, where have you been? Are there a lot of bike trails in Portugal? So you've probably done your research on this, Sarah. Is this a country well supported, well infrastructured for cyclists? It would appear so to me. Does it to you?
It's starting. Okay. And one of the things that they've done is do things in a national way. When you look to the side of the road and there's a bit of red pavement, that's a bike trail. And it's the same all over. Whereas in America, it could be anything. You know, you look over and you go, is that a bike trail? I have no idea.
Okay, so
they've started.
Okay, that's really good to know. And sort of evidence of this. Now, I wouldn't, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know about the Cycle Diversity Conference that's happening in Lisbon next month from the 6th to the 9th of September. Velo-city, Velo-city. We're not sure how to say it. I have checked with Sarah, but you get the idea. It's a pun based on velo, of course, all things to do with biking. And it's coming. Why is this a big deal for Lisbon, would you say, Sarah?
Oh, it's a global conference, and it's really, really important for the bicycle advocacy community. So bringing this to Lisbon means that people from all over the world are coming here, and they're seeing what Portugal has to offer. They're providing new ideas. It only goes to cities that compete for it. It's not something that just fell into the lap somehow. So this is evidence that Portugal has real bicycle advocacy here, and is part of the larger group, the larger world of bicycling.
Brilliant. And there we go. Bicycle diversity and urban mobility, economy and tourism, reshaping cities and politics. So the big hitters of the cycling world and infrastructure are here. Community building, co-creation and inclusion, health and climate resilience. That sounds like an amazing conference. If you're anyone in the bike world, I guess you're going to be there. 750 people. It's like Web Summit for cycling, isn't it? 1,000 digital participants, 250 speakers, 45 countries, 30 exhibitors and partners, and reaching 4 million via social media, and all the big names, as you might expect, from the media and the cycling world there as well. So 6th to the 9th of September in Lisbon, Velo-city 2021. And thank you to Sarah for bringing that to my attention, who's with me today talking about cycling in Portugal, fairly recently here in Portugal, and answering your questions. So let's see, what are the questions here? A simple bon dia with a cycling emoji. That's very beautiful. And a flower from Pam. Thank you, Pam, very much indeed. Victoria's asking, Sarah, where do you bike in Portugal? We heard about your 15K ride of a morning. Have you gone out on any other little rides that you could tell us about? That's particularly nice places to go.
We rode down to Sagres, which is really, really lovely. And it was a really nice ride. We're starting from here in Praia da Rocha, not very far, just really relaxed. We've been, we go over to Lagoa every Sunday to go to church. And we've been on the train. One of the things that you can do to extend your ride, to extend your reach here in Portugal, is take your bike on the train. And they have a place for them. You can, is there a small fee for them? I think so. No, free. Anyway, we get the bike on the train. Yeah.
Who is it you're talking? We're not going to draw them on. Husband. Hello, husband. Good morning to you. Hola, bon dia. Thank you for your information from off camera. Really appreciate it. But that's great news. So this is a bike-friendly country from the point of view of using the trains as well, which is great to hear.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because the trains are wonderful in Portugal, of course. And so if you can put the two together, that's a really good thing to know. Let's go back to the comments, see what people are asking you. You call me a young primate, and I am 506. Well, I take my hat off to you. He's over 506, it says there. I had no idea, and he looks pretty well for it, I have to say. Carl's face. This is so my point. When people think older women aren't doing stuff, they are. You just don't realize because they look so great. Louise, stop it. Seriously, I wasn't like making that kind of point there. I just think, I didn't believe that Sarah was 67 because she doesn't look 67. I thought I was talking to somebody in their 50s here on the camera with me. So there was a compliment and not a prejudice. I hope you understand that, Sarah, and I'm not in any way offended by my response.
No.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad we've cleared that up. To Louise as well, expat Louise, Portugal. Healthy and active people always look younger than their passport says. Well, there you go. That's part of it as well, isn't it? Or at least in my experience. Mammals, yes, middle-aged men in Lycra. They're not popular here this morning, are they? Wasn't as retired as I thought. That's another quote from you that people are loving this morning. Not as retired as I thought. So all sorts of people are trying to get you to work for them, are they? And you're trying to have a peaceful retirement here and you're being drawn back into the fray.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
all
right. Well, We'll do our best to keep you on the right side of retirement. Okay, to Louise, you are a beautiful lady, and if you did not say you were older, I would not believe it. I watch your videos, enjoy your humour. So that's to Louise as well from Andrea. See, the young primates are still shouting out at each other. Antonio, these are old comments. Let's get cracking here. Hello, people from Joe Pascual. How are you, Pascual? I'm sorry if I made a mess of your name there, Joe Pascoa. America is a fossil fuel country. Put a V8 on a bicycle and everyone will get one. Is that true, Sarah?
Yeah, fair comment.
Okay. And in Seattle, bike commuting is very popular. So I'm guessing, yeah,
it
is a lot to do with which part of the American psyche you are dealing with. You have one brain, wear a helmet. Okay, so we are very supportive to your sentiment or your comment or your order. Let's make it an order this morning. Wear a helmet, everybody, and you can get can get your helmets blessed in Fatima. So how good is that? Not only should you have a helmet, you can get it blessed in Fatima. Don't start me off on that, Jim. I have a great helmet, but we'll need to purchase some gloves when I arrive in Portugal. Would love to meet up for some beach rides in the Algarve. So
let's do it.
How do we facilitate that, Sarah? Maybe a forum thread at expatsportugal.com. Would that be okay with you?
Perfect.
Excellent stuff. Okay, maybe at Decathlon for the cycle stuff, they have stuff for all sports and are usually not expensive and okay quality. That's great to know, isn't it? I'm all for safety, Sarah, and not just on roads. There you go, to Paul, and obrigada for your counsel to Juini this morning. Decathlon is likely to find the sporting stuff. Loads of wonderful comments coming in. This is fantastic. Do not wear a GoPro on a helmet, as happened to Schumacher. I didn't see that. Did that not go terribly well? Do you do that? Do you video at all, Sarah? Because I think people would love to see your rides, or is that too much hassle?
I do have a video. When we rode across America, I carried one on the front and one on the back. Honestly, with the idea that if somebody hit me, that there would be evidence.
Not for your blog, for your safety.
No, not for my blog. Right. But yeah, occasionally I do still video.
Okay, well, we'd love to see those. I mean, we'll stay in touch with you because we as you do more and as you settle down and as you do the N2, we'd love to see some pictures from that. You're right on that. Most stuff is good and cheap at Decathlon from Antonio. That's great. No requirement, apparently, for insurance, certainly, except for users of continuously powered electric bicycles. Actually, I don't know if that's to do with insurance or the helmets, but anyway, I thought it was mandatory to use a helmet, but apparently not. But we're making it mandatory here, all right? Hola, bon dia. Good morning, Portugal. And to my fellow Funketeers, it's a lovely brass construction as I stomp through the maze of happy feelings through the central line of walking into sunshine. Some people will get those references, but he's having a funking good morning. There is Capricorn 12. Here we go. Matty again. If you have a usable brain, you wear a helmet. And if not, maybe you shouldn't. Okay, so we got it. We got the point about the helmets this morning. Sarah, you are in Praia de Rocha. That's where I will be starting in October. So how good is that? You and Victoria, I think, out cycling together.
I'll be there.
We want the pictures. Thanks, Elra. I'm a watcher, not a partaker. Nowhere to carry my camera gear, says Paul. The last thing Pammy says, the last thing I part with before my move will be my e-bike. And that will, and it stops there. Jersey's here, Jersey people. I use my bike a lot, but my mountain bike became too uncomfortable for me now. When I come to Portugal and settle in my dream location, I will get a Portuguese, more comfortable bike. So the bigger saddle, possibly. Who knows? So tell us about some other forms of cycling that you're involved in, Sarah. You mentioned cargo bikes. I don't know what that is. Could you explain?
Oh, cargo bikes are just the best thing ever. If you want to chuck your car, that is the thing that you must have. Okay. They come in different forms. I have what is called, in America, I have what is called a long tail cargo bike. And they move the wheel, they elongate the frame. So the wheel goes back, I don't know, 6-8 inches. Yeah, somewhere in there. Okay. And then you end up with this enormous long rack on it and huge bags. And you put kind of like running boards on the side so you can support the stuff that you're carrying in these bags. Yeah. I've carried everything there. All of our food came home on the cargo bike. I've carried furniture from IKEA. In the flat packs.
Right.
Yes, cargo bikes. There they are.
Who knew? Well, you did. I didn't.
Yeah, they're just the best.
Okay.
Yeah. So either I'll bring mine from America or I'll buy one here.
This is great. And I'm guessing that given Portugal's great, I mean, the Portuguese are so good at making so many different things. I'm guessing there is a Portuguese cargo bike manufacturer somewhere in this country, and we just need to join the dots here. My question for you about is it hard, really hard work, pushing one of these or riding one of these?
Actually, no, and many of them have an e-assist. Many of them are e-bikes as well. The one that I have in America is not an e-assist. I figured that it was good training, but it had something like, oh yeah, Steve's holding up a picture for me. Every Christmas I bring home the tree on the cargo bike. You know, I don't know. He wants me to hold this up.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, there I am with our tree.
So they knew you. You must have been well known in your neighborhood. There she is with her IKEA flat pack furniture on the back of the bike. There she is with her groceries. Oh, it's Christmas. There goes Sarah again with the tree. Dominic Chorus here, bon dia. And Pam went on to say, that will be my first purchase in Portugal, a new e-bike. So is this a bit like when Bob Dylan went electric? Are there politics in the cycling scene where people shout out Judas at people who are riding around on electric bikes, or does everyone coexist?
No. Our tandem is an e-bike. Steve bought an e-bike here. It's difficult to carry an e-bike across the water because the batteries are so huge. We wandered into a bike store in O'Irish one day, and there was this bike, this e-bike, a used one for sale. And we looked at it. We both had the same thought at the same time. This is Steve's bike. It needs to come home with us. So now he has one on each side of the Atlantic, and it works great.
Oh, superb. Okay, so I just wondered there if some of the purists thought that e-bikes were a little bit of a cop-out, but I'm really pleased. Okay, excellent news. There are plans to have a cycle route from Alcobaça, says Pam, to the coast at Nazaré, probably a couple of years off yet. But that sounds great, doesn't it, Sarah? You sound excited about that, really? Yeah,
it does. Just everything that you can. There's a channel on YouTube called One Lisbon Cyclist, and this guy rides everywhere, and that was one of the tools that our son used to persuade us to come to Portugal. It was like, I want you guys to come with me. I'm going to Portugal. Look at what this guy is doing. You'll want to do it too. Okay. And it makes you want to ride everywhere in Portugal.
So One Lisbon Cyclist, that's the person, is it, that we're looking for? Or on Instagram, looks like they're called One Cyclist in Lisbon. That's going to be an excellent account to follow, I think. Brilliant. All right. Thank you for that tip as well. You are so information rich in the two-wheel world this morning. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. So we're looking forward to that, the Alcobaça to Nazaré. I'm in the process of converting my vintage mountain bike to electric, so that can be done as well. Isn't that good to know? I did see that, actually, a crowdfunding thing on social media. There is a company, isn't there, that's making this add-on device that goes on any bike from a penny farthing.
Yes.
Okay. What a great time to be alive when it comes to bikes. Here's a question for you, right? A serious one now. Bikes are fine, but where do you put the fridge, the bar, and the barbecue?
And the Barbie.
Yeah, how are we going to do that? Cargo bike?
There's actually a company in Iowa called Bikes at Work.
Yeah.
And they produce a series of bicycle trailers. Yeah. One of which has been photographed carrying a fridge.
Okay. So Paul,
now it's Iowa, so it's flat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But it's doable. And I'm thinking Portuguese people will have risen to that challenge as well, won't they? On the way to the picnic at the Parque de Merenda, there's going to be somebody on a bike with the fridge, with the bar and the barbecue as well. Probably actually on the go with a flaming chorizo on there. Sabras, utterly lovely roads in the Algarve Hills. However, cycling is blighted by the many Portuguese who keep dogs on chains, says Max. Plain speaking, Max Flight is here, everybody. The unexpected vicious barking is quite upsetting to him. A blessed day coming in from Shirley. Good morning, Shirley. Blessed day and morning to everyone. Thank you, Shirley. I do love your blessings that you bring to us. That will be awesome. The Arcabasa to Nazare. Have you been off-road cycling? The Padern Hills are amazing. Is that something you would do, Sarah? That sounds terrifying to me. You definitely need your gloves and helmet for that sort of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, but you don't have to do it quite as fast as everybody else. And it's great fun. It's great fun. I haven't been off-road cycling much. There are a few like dirt roads back here where we are, and I have the tires to do it. So we do. And I will look up the Paternay Hills. That sounds great.
Beautiful. Okay, so it's working both ways here today. It's amazing to see the cycle teams riding down the N125 past Raposera en route to Sagres. It's truly a wonder sight. I'm always amazed to see cyclists cycling all the way to the top of the tree. Yeah, with their bulging calves. When I lived in Korea, at a little town, and they closed it off to have a road race, it was so emotive. It was like seeing a brass band come past. You would hear I think the police came through first, and a pace setter, and somebody on a motorcycle with a camera, and then the cyclists would come through, and it was really moving to see them come through, and then you wait, and they come through again. It's really fantastic.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Capricorn 12. A lovely sight to see, and the Portuguese are as keen on it as the French are, but just not as outspoken about it, I think. I'm sure we'll be joining a cycle group once in Portugal, says Colin, talking of Colin and Hakeem there. When I was in Koja, I saw a shower block and lockers for cyclists following a marked cycle trail. So talking of infrastructure.
Great.
Isn't that great? So another one maybe to write down there, Sarah. Koja. Hola, bon dia. From Hank. Hey, good morning to you, Hank. How's cycling in California? Wyatt? Why not? Exactly. So actually, this is thinking out loud, I think, in the comments, isn't it? You can imagine somebody just watching the show and going, well, why? Why not? Exactly. So thank you for those, Huini, number 2. Bon dia to Hank Stalica from Antonio F. Such a lovely lady, says Jacqueline Brown. Good morning, Donna J. Such a lovely lady and seems to really enjoy life. Well done, Sarah. Absolutely right. Wow. Thanks for all the great info. Train access sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to beach rides. Hope to meet up with Sarah for a future ride. Special tires for beach rides, right? You can't just plow into the sand. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the Euro car here has what's called a fat bike for rent, which has tires that are about 4 or 5 inches wide. Yeah, and they will do great on the beach.
Perfect for every occasion we're discovering this morning.
Yeah, and consider we're thinking about a fat bike for here because it does so well on the cobbles.
There's a thought, and a question that has been asked.
Just don't care, The
great disrespecter of mankind, the great leveler, the calçadas. So the fat bike is the application there for the calçadas. Yes. Brilliant. Good morning from Jacqueline Branco. Good morning to you, Jacqueline Branco. Do you have a bicycle? I wonder. All the chaps shouting out to each other there. I'm going to get a GoPro for sure. Really wanting to do some videos and show the world amazing Portugal. Please do. And we want an exclusive on that as well. Sarah, you can have a pit stop when I arrive in Alvor very soon, says Paul. So how about that? I think quite a few people offer a pit stop to you. That's a very kind thing to do. Anyone else want to do that? Hank is laughing. Is that about cycling in California? I wonder. I have a rad wagon. I'm thinking of getting I don't know what
GSD.
What is this?
Oh, I do. Good taste. Very good taste.
But what is it?
A Turn GSD is a really interesting bike. Both of these are electric cargo bikes, and they have wonderful characteristics. The Turn is particularly notable for being able to be stored on its end. You can turn it up so that the rack goes underneath the back wheel, and it just kind of stands up.
Very good. Okay, these are things that people are going to be searching for during or after the show. Missed you guys, says Hank. We missed you too, but we know why. You've been having a great time in Portugal. Instead of a GoPro, I got a camera from China for 1/10 of the price of a GoPro, says Matty. More tips coming in. Money-saving tips from Matty. These kind of cargo bikes are very common here in the Netherlands. And we know why. It's very flat here, isn't it? Qashqai's has a good shop. Okay, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
You expats heading to Qashqai, a good shop there for bike stuff. Any recommendations for a bike shop, says Victoria, that can reassemble my bike when I arrive in Portimao? Is Steve a bike engineer by any chance?
Not particularly. We've had there are a couple of good shops here in Portimao. We've had good luck with both of them.
Shouldn't be a problem then, Victoria. I'm pleased to say to you, I love a good folding bikes where origami meets cycling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I even rode one for our big cycle races on one a few years ago. Cheers for that, Francis. At home base back in the UK, they had cargo bikes for you to use free to get your stuff home. Great idea, isn't that fantastic? And they probably make a sale. Hi, Louise. Hi, Pam. Hi to anyone else I may have missed, says Hank. Let's see. So loads more questions and comments coming in. Let's have a look through here. Need to return to Portugal. You so do, Hank. For Virginia Larson, bom dia, alegria para Sara, para todos e também para você. Thank you very much, Virginia. That's very good. Bit of Portuguese there. I know Andy's a cyclist. Bom dia. This is Andy via Austin's Facebook. The lady who runs the Fig Foj bicycle group page really raves about those cargo bikes and e-bikes. So there you go. There's a group for you as well. Bom dia. Only recently found Good Morning Portugal heading out in October, staying in Faro. A little autumn sunshine helps shorten the winter in Belfast. Good morning to you, Deagle McKillen this morning. Can't stay away. This is almost like Hank is talking in his sleep, isn't it? Must return to Portugal. Can't stay away. You're not alone, says Matty. Young Padawan, I am going this Friday for a 2-week vacation. Seattle has a lot of bike coffee stands at the market. Okay, so there's another application. You haven't got one of those as well, have you? You haven't got an espresso making bike somewhere?
No, but they do exist.
They do, don't they? It's such a good combination. Yeah, I got my e-bike last year after having bilateral knee replacements the day before the COVID shutdown. There was no PT available, so the bike was my PTIVE.
Physical therapy.
Oh, I see. I thought that was Portuguese. So there was no physical therapy available, so the bike was my physical therapy. I've ridden 2,700 miles in the year that I've had it, virtually.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Hank and Amit are having a chat. Great to have you in the country, Amit. Anything I can do for you to live vicariously? I mean, that's a nice offer, but that's also just rubbing it in, basically, that you're here and he isn't. Yes, have a pint of Superboc and send a picture to Carl so he can share on GP. It's a deal. We will do that. I found out today, says Hank, that they had a Portuguese celebration festival within driving distance of my house last weekend. The universe is moving around you there, young Jedi. I never knew it existed, else I would have been there. Fantastic. Fat bikes. Responding to that, Sarah, with mountain bike frame type would be the way to go as far as Andy's concerned. Yeah. I've put the widest possible tires on my vintage mountain bike. That will be going electric. Let's have a look. One of the reasons we chose the Aveiro area is because of the flatter terrain, great cycling. So do you know of that area, Sarah?
We do. We had looked at that a little bit. The pandemic has really cut down on our ability to move around a bunch. So we haven't been up there yet, but we're looking forward to a trip up there.
Oh, please keep us informed if you will. If you've got time, we'd love to see the photos of you both all around Portugal on your bikes. There's so much love for it here this morning. So I'm sure that will be a wonderful theme to continue if you would do us that great honor.
I'd love to.
Get that Superboc, take the photo. They want to do that. And Andy's saying, maybe I should start a bike shop. We may have launched a business here this morning as well. But Captain, look at these like Trekkies and Star Wars folks in the comments this morning. There are so many Portuguese descendants in the US. You'll always find something, especially on June the 10th. Portugal Day. Okay, a date for the diary, everybody. Victoria, you might want to consider an Linster 360 camera. It is a 360-degree camera that is waterproof that you can get several accessories for, including cycling. So there you go. Lots of great information being swapped in the community here. Any more questions for Sarah, please, who very kindly is joining us this morning, opening our eyes to the world of cycling here in Portugal. What have we missed so far, Sarah? Is there anything else that we need to say about cycling in Portugal? Sounds like a very favorable experience so far.
Yeah, I would just say be careful when you come over. If you're coming from America, some of the airlines will charge you a lot of money to bring your bike. We came on Delta, which has waived all site. They used to have a big charge for bringing your bike, and they no longer do. You bring your bike for free on Delta.
Good.
Yeah, when we arrived, it was myself and my husband and our son. Between us, we had 7 bags. 4 of them were bicycles, and
Of
and it
course.
worked great.
Yeah. And is that
Turns
because
out you don't need
they're trying to take an ecological, environmental position? So it's like carbon offsetting. If they let the passengers carry the bikes, that's a kind of good look, PR and eco-wise?
I have no idea. I think they just got tired. There are a lot of cyclists in Georgia where Delta is headquartered.
Okay.
And they got tired of people showing up to the airport and throwing fits. So they gave in.
So it's stress management, nothing to do with with ecology. Everything
Right.
to do with management at the airport there. So that's crazy about Delta. We'll have to remember that, says Hank. Sarah, it has been an absolute joy to talk to you this morning, and lovely to make your acquaintance. Muito prazer, and I do hope that is not the end of it, and that we'll be hearing from you in due course.
We will do it. Sounds
All
great.
right.
Thank you,
And
Carl.
Thank you for making the suggestion. So lots of love to you. To have a great day, and to Steve as well. Cheers, Steve.
Say goodbye, Steve.
Bye.
Waiting to go out on the tandem, maybe. Sarah, thank you so much. Speak to you again soon. All the best. Hasta luego. There she goes. Isn't that amazing? I've got some sunsets to show you, but I'm really buzzing now after talking to Sarah. I must get some WD-40 on my bike and dust the cobwebs off it, and have a little spin. Used to love it myself in the Velo district, as Andy's saying there. That's when I bought the bike when the pandemic kicked in, and went to the shops on it. Backpack. Used to love doing that, and now I'm just a 4-wheels guy. And I'm just been. That's such a great reminder from Sarah to get back on the bike. Fantastic. Round of applause for Sarah there from Andy. Have a great day, Sarah from Andrea. I do beg your pardon. Have a great day, says Andrea. And also we have a wonderful guest from Hank. It's absolutely right. Thanks for sharing, says Hank as well. And people power, pedal power, people power. Isn't that wonderful? WD-40 is the wrong oil type. You need something thicker, lithium, just to get on the rust I'm talking about. And lots of thumbs ups. It's the 5 thumbs up award from Winnie too. Thanks for the great show, and have a nice day, Sarah, as well. Lovely. Portugal is actually the major bike producer in Europe. Another understated and quiet boast that could be made that isn't by the Portuguese, and Victoria is flying Delta because of that. She is inspiring, says Jim White. Isn't that fantastic? See you tonight, Jim. Spiritual Portugal, 11 o'clock this evening, where we'll be talking to the wonderful Jeff this evening, having a nice chat with Jeff at 11 o'clock this evening. So this has to stop, I've got to say. This falling in love with places around Portugal. It happened to me again. You know, I was telling you yesterday about how I went to Castelo de Vido on Saturday, and that was my latest symptom of San Martino de Porto syndrome, falling in love with the next town you roll into. Well, only 2 days later, I am in, I can't even remember what it's called. I've lost my mind. I'm so in love with Abranches. Let me show you some pictures of Abranches, and I will see if you can share my passion for this, or my newfound passion for this place. Yes, I was going to tease you with it and say, guess where I've been, but there are a few of these I'm noticing around Portugal. I think the government will give a town one of these if they want one of them. Abranches has one, as you can see there, and the kids loved it. Some public art. My boy there enjoying the sun and copying the posture of a bronze statue there. Fabulous public art, as you'll see, as I continue my little slideshow of Abranches here. Right in the middle of Portugal, and I mean north to south in the middle, over to the Spanish side, of course. Not the dead center, but central from north to south. Pretty much exactly. And this is what the shops look like. There's some street art. That was later on in the evening, hence the lighting. But that's just what you see on the streets of Abranches. This was a little mural around a shop. I'm not sure what Atelier do Massimo is there, but that's the mural around the shop on the Rua Marques de Pombal there. Look at this, the tower. We had dinner. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner by that pickup truck there is a tram parked outside Telly Pizza, where you can make your order and then sit in the tram, which the kids absolutely loved. And there's like a great big shark fin shard on the roundabout. This is at the top of town. where the hotel is, and this remarkable communications tower, which shines in the night like that on the landscape. Here, folks, is what an ancient notice board looks like in a branch made out of azulejo tiles, which I thought was stunning as well. Then this house, walked up a lane. You'll see my video actually on the Expats Portugal Facebook page. Made a live video where the town hall is, and then just up one of the lanes from there is this lovely place. Photo doesn't do it justice. The tiling on here was amazing. Here's a detail. Isn't that beautiful? There's a hand-painted original tile. I'm going to have a sip of water. I'm going to let you study those tiles mindfully. Hold up. Did you enjoy that mindfulness moment there? So back down the lane into the calçadas that we were talking about there. Flat bike, obviously, for those sorts of things. And there is the Escritorio shop, which had some very interesting things in the shop window, some vintage toys. But look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful time in a branch. Thoroughly commend it to you as a very quiet. It was extremely quiet, eerily so. And Maria, who we met in a branch, said this to us. It is a beautiful place, but it's a little bit too quiet. Come, bring your children to a branch, as she was basically saying. And then we met another lady walking her dog who walked us. So we said, do you know where this pizza restaurant is that Maria told us about? Yeah, I'm walking my dog. Follow me and I'll walk you to it. And she did. And then and we exchanged phone numbers. And before the end of the evening, wonderful Paula had given me some links to another place to check out and some friends of hers in the Tamar area. This is how friendly Portuguese people are. So a branch, pop it on your list, folks. You know, so you might have a little moleskin journal book that's only this big, but it needs to have a planning permission for the pieces of paper that fold up and fall out of your journal with all the places and experiences you want to have in Portugal. I can't believe it. Nearly 4 years we've been here, and I'm falling in love with new towns still. Okay, so a branch. Sorry about that, Castelo David, but a branch I was thoroughly impressed with yesterday. And as I was walking, went to get the car. Because we'd walked quite a long way from where we parked the car. I went to get it while the rest of the family were eating. I passed a man on a fairly dark lane by this time of the night, and he said to me, "Hola, boa noite, Tamanya." And Tamanya, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, how friendly is this? This man is saying good night to me, but he's also saying see you tomorrow as well. Incredible. So very quiet, very friendly. I'm going to put those two words together as my description of a branch, possibly the quietest and friendliest place in Portugal. As towns go, obviously out in the country, it's going to be quiet. But when it comes to towns in Portugal, this was the quietest and friendliest we'd been to. Okay, very quickly then, before we go, do you remember we spoke on Consumer Tuesday to Fire Dave? And there he is on the left there of those lovely pics of the people at his upcoming live fire event, which is happening at 5 p.m. on the 16th of September. It's 20 euros a ticket for this. But the lovely Fire Dave has sent us a code for us lot here in the Expats Portugal community. You may remember. Actually, let me put the link to the event in the comments as well. If WhatsApp will let me do this. Why aren't you letting me do this, WhatsApp? Might have to click on it. But Expats 50 is the code you need, all in uppercase if you want a discount. Which let me just copy it. So copy that into the comments. So you've got that if you're interested in Fire Dave's online event. And let me just put the link to the website there as well. It's all about financial independence and retiring early. Find out more at the website address that I've just popped into the comments. And I think he's booked a new speaker as well. So you had Emma Farrell, you had Kel Galavan, you had another Michael. Is it Michael tomorrow? For Ask Anything About Portugal. I'm a bit behind, folks. I've been staying up late and getting up early. I'll have to confirm that in the nick of time with you. Miroslav is there, as are Chris and Steve. These are all speakers from the Financial Independence and Retire Early world. 20 euros a ticket. You're going to get, I think, a half price ticket if you use that code there. Okay, let's see what's coming in on the comments before we leave you today. Gilda. Oh, great show. Muito obrigada. See you next time. I'm awake at 1 a.m. Oh, goodness, Pammy. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. MF, will Gilda? Yes, she will. I don't know the exact answer to that, but I'm suspecting it will Gilda be with us again. Yes, she will. On a Monday with a visa update. Lots of comments coming in. Fantastic. Let me come back to those. Traveling in the Netherlands now. I'm very inspired by cycling culture here. So when I tuned in and cycling was a topic, I was very excited, says Catherine Collins. Fantastic. From Atlanta, says Victoria. Is that the Delta flight you'll be taking? Where do they manufacture bikes? Andy is asking Antonio F. In the Aveiro region, there are some big bike manufacturers, but I'm sure that's not the only place. Thanks for the show. Hey up, Michelle. Thanks for the show. It's a pleasure. It really is. Catherine, check out the Dutch Meetup thread in the Expats for Portugal forum. Maybe you want to join there as well. Very good, Matty. Nicely done. Morning all. Great to hear from Sarah. Cycling is a fantastic exercise for those with dodgy knees. I've given up cycling in the UK. Roads around us are too crowded. But when we're in Portugal, we'll be back. Stuff riding on UK roads, says Andy. Most factories, yes, there we go, are in the central region in the Aveiro district. That's backing up what I was saying about that. You drive past them and they've got these massive bikes outside. There's a little bit of a sculpture to show what goes on inside the factory. I should design bikes for a living. I think you should, Andy. What a great shift of career. An engineer, it's exactly what you should be doing. Me too, Carl, and you're not helping. I'm thinking of buying a tent and just touring the country. Okay, yes, San Martino de Porto syndrome. It's not getting any better, Louise. It's getting worse, in fact. So great to see all you guys. Have a great day and a great week. See you soon from Hank. Expats50 is the code, should you need it. Live.firedave.com is the website address if you need it. So glad to be back and attending each morning. Thank you, Carl, says Dominique. Oh, it's a pleasure. And another great show. Have the best day from Andrea. And maybe I should ditch the Harley for a bicycle. Or get both, Patricia. Why not both? Then you'll have two wheels for every occasion pretty much there. Okay, going to the sunsets now. And I know that I'm pretty certain I've missed some of your photos and messages on WhatsApp. Please don't be offended. Please remind me if I have overlooked something that you've sent me that is precious to you. It's not my intention, I promise you. While we're about it, look, people send me pictures like this. Look at this. This is the produce from Louise that was sent into yesterday's gardening Q&A. Isn't that fantastic? That's beautiful. That's what you can grow in your garden in Portugal, everybody. Okay, that's not the reason I was reaching for my pics. I'm going to the sunsets now. Here is a sunset from Australia, from Alda. Isn't that beautiful? And she, as I said before, when we opened the show, she's looking forward to coming and photographing Portugal. And we look forward to those pictures if they're anything like these. We had a sunrise from Margarida and Andy. And this is their sunset from Frazetta the other evening. That looks lovely, doesn't it? A little walk down by the boats there. And what else? Do we have any others for you? I don't think we do, but I'll probably return to my evening picture of a branch. Dusk falls in a branch, eating pizza in a tram, and you come out and you look up at that. It's quite staggering, and you can see it from miles around on the Abranches hills there, or the main hill of Abranches upon which the city is placed. Quite stunning. There's my sunset for you today to conclude the show. Thanks again to Sarah. Thanks to everybody, Sarah and Steve, of course. And thanks to everybody who tuned in. I honestly don't know. It will be Ask Anything About Portugal tomorrow. I think it's the Michael Heron edition. So tune in for that. Lude is saying, have a great day. And Catherine is coming in with a final question. We'll have to leave hanging there or take it to the forum. Are there cycling maps available online for Portugal? I would say there are, but she's thanking me and Sarah as well. I like this show. Thank you, Carl. And Todos, thank you too. Right back at you there. Thanks for tuning in, Barbara. Let's go out in the usual way. Now go out and in Portugal. Now go out and enjoy Portugal is how we like to finish. And here it is. Thanks to Pete Wilton Davis for creating this, and just like with the intro, with this outro, I see new things each time I play it. Don't forget to whistle and sing along, everybody. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.